and welcome to the Gavel. I'm Linda Akibe. The National Assembly has still not passed the 2018 budget, nearly 6 months after President Buhari submitted the budget to the National Assembly. Now, the National Assembly gave a deadline of April 24th when the budget will be passed, but that did not happen. The House of Representatives has set a new date for the passage of the 2018 budget, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that the 2018 budget will finally be passed on this date.
The House of Representatives says it will pass the 2018 budget before the end of next week, May 11th. The House spokesman, Abdulrazak Namdas, made the statement while briefing journalists at the end of Thursday's plenary. According to him, the budget will be laid before the House on Tuesday, May 8th.
We cannot go on break when a serious matter is on ground. And even when that motion was moved, it was not tied to a date. To say this was the particular date and we have faulted it, no. It was agreed that we should take 3 days as a sign of protest. We all agreed. And I told you here that it will be determined by the leadership. And as responsible leaders, they've agreed that we will observe this sitting. But that should be after the budget has been passed. But we have not taken decision. But I am telling you that we will pass this budget. We will pass the budget this next week, and we will observe after we have passed the budget by the grace of God.
The House had earlier promised to pass the budget on April 24th, 2018.
Proposing that we're laying the budget finally on the 19th of April 2018. And hopefully we'll be passing the budget on the 24th of April 2018. Is the harmonized calendar with the Senate.
April 24th came and went without the National Assembly fulfilling its promise. This is nearly 6 months after President Buhari submitted the 2018 budget to the National Assembly for its approval. The executive and the legislature have blamed each other for being responsible for the delay in the passage of the 2018 budget. The National Assembly hung the budget delay on the necks of government agencies over their failure to submit details of their budgets to relevant committees. But the process of working and passing the 2018 budget has been completely overshadowed by the drama in the National Assembly, particularly the Senate. The upper chamber had to contend with an invasion of its chamber, infighting, as well as the emergence of a splinter group made up of lawmakers dissatisfied with some of the decisions by the Senate, particularly the amendment of the Electoral Act setting the sequence of general elections. Meanwhile, leaders of the South and Middle Belt have criticized the executive for their flagrant disregard for the legislative arm of government. The South and Middle Belt Leaders Forum stated this when a high-level delegation of the group, led by Chief Edwin Clark, visited the leadership of the Senate in Abuja. Speaking on behalf of the body, the President General of Ohanese Ndigbo, Chief John NWODO, said the recent invasion of the Senate by thugs that forcefully snatched the mace of the Red Chamber and the refusal of the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, to honor the summons of the Senate were clear examples of the executive's disregard for the institution of the National Assembly.
We have watched the helplessness of the National Assembly, where members of the executive even refuse your invitation to come and make explanations before them, contrary to the provisions of the Constitution. We have found the helplessness of the Senate when you can be invaded in spite of the security adornment in this place, controlled by the executive. And the seat of the Senate President is almost invaded, but for the personal security of the aides of its leadership. This is because our system makes the tail wag the dog, rather than the dog wag the tail. This cannot be the fountain of legislative authority for executive implementation, and yet the toy of the system.
The group also asked the National Assembly to revisit the clause for devolution of powers, which was rejected in the ongoing constitution amendment process by the National Assembly.
Sir, we believe that many of the problems we have in our country emanate from the constitution of our country. We know that the National Assembly has had debate on devolution of powers. And we know, Mr. President, that you did promise the nation that you will have a revisit to this issue. We have come to ask you to bring up the revisit. We consider it urgent and inevitable because we believe that all the problems we have today in Nigeria emanate from the fact that our constitution is not ripe for a country constituted by people of diverse culture, diverse political persuasions as our country. Many other countries with our characteristics have emerged great and greater. Some have taken the seedlings of their greatness from their country. But we have been kept down by the kind of constitution we run. We have come to tell you that in our view, it is because we have this over-concentration of power in the federal government, contrary to the agreement that our forefathers entered into for a union called Nigeria, that governance has failed in our country, that economic development has failed.
On his part, Senate President Bukola Saraki says the National Assembly is ready to play its role to ensure that the country continues on the path of democracy and growth.
Talking about the constitutional amendment, this National Assembly, on our own initiative, started the process of constitutional amendment. We know that there were areas after the first that did not pass. Devolution is one, a few others. And we promised Nigerians that we will go back and review them. And I'm happy to report to you that we have done a report. We're just finishing, we just want to finish the passage of the budget. The report has even been laid. We just want to finish the passage of the budget, and then we'll consider the report.